Mike should shout out Aaron for being a D4 scrub. It's true. I really should.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch once again. Mike, one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 112. As always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community and gave us a few teasers for the future. And we're going to jump right into this right now with a new shiny cinematic. Talking about a new cinematic.
Hinted that we might get a nice and shiny CG cinematic trailer quite a few dev streams ago, where you showed a screenshot from it. How is that going? And can you share more info about it? I haven't. So that day that I shared that, I managed to see there were 3 screenshots I saw. I think I showed you guys 2 of them from like an early version of it.
Yes.
And the other one just wasn't very exciting, so I was like, nah, I'm just gonna show 2. And oh, my machine beside me just blue screened.
Happens.
And since then I've seen literally nothing about it. As far as I know, it is still moving along nicely in production, possibly even finished. But it will be something that'll come more with the launch of 1.0, not as a pre 1.0 thing, I think. So it might be like a week before or something.
I take that as confirmation, week of or day of 1.0, new shiny cinematic for Last Epoch. Teaser on what's to come.
You want to tease? A little tease.
Yes.
I saw a big pull request for balance changes yesterday that I reviewed. Lots of stuff on it, all sorts of categories, and I will tell you nothing about what the details are. Sorry.
You told us plenty. Major, all right, I put in the word major, balance changes inbound for Last Epoch. What about the 2D art matching the 3D renders?
Planning to make 1.0 visualization on all unique items. A lot of items right now have generic 3D models and not look as on the picture. If not in 1.0, then any plans to make it happen. We are so right now. If you're unaware, the weapon and offhand slots for I think all items
Yes,
are actually representative of the 2D art, and then any unique item that like sits on your helmet, that's like a it uses the base helmet's model. So if there was a unique celestial helm, it would look the exact same as this item that I'm wearing now in the 3D model in game, and the 2D model or the 2D art would look different there. We do really want to make all of it match. It will not all match at 1.0. It is still the same expectation for 1.0 that we've been saying for a very long time now, in that the all of the main and offhand items will be properly representative of 2D art to 3D art, but the other slots will not for unique items.
in the future it'll come, just not for 1.0. I have watched 112 of these streams beginning to end. This is the first time I have ever heard Mike give an inch on this topic.
All right. Will the purchasable/equipable pets in-game ever be able to go around and pick up gold for you?
Yes, please.
We don't plan for it to be able to. However, it's not completely off the table. And if it does, there will be... This is the key point with this, is that if we ever did that, there would be... you would start with one or two things that would happen. You'd either just start with a pet, like in here there would just be like everyone would have a base pet no matter what that everyone gets, and it would just be there like a little something that followed you around, so that no matter what, if there was any mechanical advantage to having one of these purchasable pets, every single player would start with the ability to use that. So there'd be no way you could pay $5 and get an advantage over someone.
No pay to win.
That extra $5. Or the pet, or there'd be like some other point in the game where you like unlock it via a story method, and in that instance we would also make the player equipable pets, the purchasable equipable pets, either not have a mechanical use until that point or not be equipable until that point. Personally, I prefer the first option, just give everyone a free pet. I think it's the easiest and funnest and coolest, which is usually what we go for in a situation like that. But there's so many ifs and ifs and ifs and ifs and ifs, so it's like it's hard to give an exact answer. So right now, no, it's not happening. But if it were to happen, those are the things we would do to make sure that there was no unfair advantage for people who had paid the extra $5.
All I heard him say, that whole answer, is it's not off the table. I'm very excited for this update to Blessings.
Looking into quality of life options for Blessing system, or is that post 1.0 thing? So I will push back a little. People are probably sick and tired of me pushing back on this.
Oh, Mike's about to get heated.
What you're asking for, I assume, the answer is yes, we're gonna do it. It's not a quality of life system change. It's not a quality of life change. It's a systems change.
Quality of life.
A quality of life change would be if these didn't tell you what they're rolled and you had to like physically go to the location to go find out what they're rolled, and if we then added the find out what they're rolled in this menu here, that would be a quality of life change. The general change that's asked for with a system like this, and what we're doing, is that you'll be able to basically every blessing that you've discovered down here will become a instead of just telling you what the ranges are, it'll be a specific blessing of that type and amount, and you'll be able to click it and assign it and like equip these like items into these slots. Actually, it'll just be the slot for these ones because it's specific blessings for specific timelines. These are each for your timeline. But yeah, so you'd be able to just like drag these up and they'd be like, there you go. You can equip the ones you've unlocked before, which is a system change, and it is something we are doing. Not a quality of life change.
Just to be clear, this is going to be huge. At least for me, it'll be huge. So for example, I'm playing Source and I'm playing my Raiden build and I want Lightning Shred, and I put that in and it's like, oh, I'm no longer lightning, I'm now cold. Well, Lightning Shred doesn't help me, so now I just want extra mana, and I could put back in extra mana. But then if I go back and play the other build, then I can switch it back in instead of having to refarm the blessing over and over again. Feels like a small adjustment, but it will make a huge difference. Endgame Monolith corruption changes.
Will the corruption changes be purely number changes, or will it be a system change also, if that's something you can share? I can't give you details on what's going to happen with corruption, but there's the monolith itself is getting how do I say this? What would someone who's like never played an ARPG before would probably look at the changes and go, that seems like an awful lot of basically nothing. And anyone who's played a lot of Last Epoch would go, oh my god, that's so huge changes. So they'll be subtle, but very impactful in reality. They'll seem subtle.
If you don't know what he's talking about, right now inside of Echoes or the Monolith, your modifiers are what you have to be careful on and make sure you pick as you move through, where corruption really doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, it does a little bit, but it's really the modifiers that kill you. They're going to inverse, or they're going to flip that, where the corruption level is going to be a more indicating of what the build can do compared to picking the correct modifiers. Huge difference. People really want this game on console.
But what would it take for there to be some serious talk around bringing the game to console? At 1.0, $100 million. Apologies if you answered this before 1,000 times before. The game looks awesome, by the way. Hope you guys have been amazing.
100 mil, who's got it?
We don't have time to make a console launch for 1.0. We do not have the time.
You could tell Mike's getting this question over and over again.
There's even like when I say this, even if we dropped literally everything right now and we just said, okay, we're gonna launch 0.92 as 1.0, but we're also gonna do consoles. We just like cut every feature that we've been working on, and it's just exactly what we have now that's locked in, which is not a lot's actually locked in yet. And we just went straight to hard switch to console, everything now to 1.0. It's not enough time. We don't have enough time. Like that would come with another 6 month push as well. Like if we hard switched 100% of the company and delayed it by 6 months, that would be a huge stretch. I don't think we could do it. Like, it's so far out of the realm of possibility. No, I'm sorry. I just want to be so super clear on this.
Feel a little bit of frustration there. If they switched the entire company right now, tomorrow, to working on console, even at a 6-month mark, delaying 1.0, which is really like 9 months, still not in the realm of possible. Consoles will come to LE, but based upon that answer, years? All right, everyone. Unfortunately, we have come to the final question for Dev Chat 112. Mike, as always, thank you for continuing these Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. I appreciate it. It really sets EHG apart from all these other game studios. And this last question hits close to home. We have been waiting. I have been waiting. The community has been waiting for a refresh to Shaman for a long time. Not going to spoil it. I'm going to let Mike answer this question. And before I do that, 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1. I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, but of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 90 members that have signed up. People ask me all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it. And you get the most bonus content. And you could live stream with me, and you can go into the VIP area. It's the best spot. First link in the description. Okay. I'm done. Mike Shaman, take it away.
Please don't nerf Boardman's Legacy set for Primalist. We won't nerf it. I don't think. I don't think it needs a nerf. Will cycles in the future? I should probably follow this up with Shaman in general needs some love. That set is very focused around Shaman, and with the extension that we've given to 1.0, there will be a little bit of love put Shaman's way. They've got a tempest of problems, and like, we just need to let that storm rage out of control a little bit more, but like in a good way. All right, will cycles in the future be designed in mind with possibility going to core, or is it like D4, make a season and then remove the mechanic after the season ends? Okay, so initially all of the cycle mechanics will be immediately included in core. They as we go on, we'll shift a little bit to some cycle mechanics being immediately in core, some of them being delayed into core, some of them maybe eventually at some point even not going to core, but by default the assumption is that if we're putting it into a cycle, it should be going to core. If initially immediately, and by immediately I mean like February 21st, core will have all the cycle mechanics from 1.0.